But more interestingly, Harry Reid has been trolling Donald Trump. And I think trolling is, frankly, almost an understatement. And following on Khizr Khan, Mr. Khan, the fellow whose son died in Iraq, who spoke so eloquently at the Muslim gentleman who spoke so eloquently at the Democratic National Convention, has suggested that Donald Trump take a citizenship test, as he did and his wife did, to become citizens of the United States. They're originally from Pakistan. And this is what Harry Reid said yesterday. He's out trolling Donald Trump. He said Trump would almost certainly fail given his general ignorance and weak grasp of basic facts about American history, principles, and functioning of our government. The fact is Donald Trump is nothing more than a spoiled, unpatriotic drain on society who has earned nothing and helped no one. Unlike immigrants, Donald Trump represents none of the qualities that make America great. Immigrants work hard to get here and become Americans, while Trump inherited everything from his father and works hardest at tweeting insults and ripping off hardworking people with two-bit scams. You tell him, Harry. Harry Reid is, seriously going on this. So what, if we were to put together a citizenship test for Donald Trump, I mean, the basic citizenship test is stuff like, what is the supreme law of the land? And the idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words? This is the actual citizenship test. What do you call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? What is an amendment? How many amendments does the Constitution have? What is the name of the President of the United States right now? If the President and Vice President can no longer serve, who becomes President? Who's Commander-in-Chief of the military? All this kind of stuff. But, if Trump was going to change it to a Trump-based citizenship test, what would it be? I mean, what percentage of pickup trucks have gun racks in the back? I don't know. I mean, it's, or for that matter, if we were to how many wives can an American president have from outside the United States? What's the best middle name for someone named Billy? Bob, Joe, Ray, I don't know. We're kind of treading into Jeff Foxworthy territory here, but this is not just unique to the rural areas of this country, although that seems to be the if you look at the map, that seems to be where most of Trump's support is coming from. So is it legal to marry your first cousin or only your second cousin? Is American law based on the Bible or the Constitution? I mean, stuff like that. I'm not a comedy writer, so I don't have, a whole lot of these kind of, little witticisms. But what kind of questions would Trump want on a citizenship test? What what would a Trump citizenship test look like? You got any suggestions? There's a lot of other things we can talk about too. It's anything goes summer. Jeff Foxworthy, he's these are the you might be a redneck if, and it's not just rednecks who support Donald Trump. So we got to be very clear about that. And rednecks, what does that word mean? Well, sometimes it's applied to striking mine union workers because they wore a red scarf. But the oldest usage, I think, is really, farmers out in the field who end up with a red neck, white farmers out in the field who end up with a red neck as a result of sunburn. But anyhow, has your wife, you might be a redneck if your wife has ever said, can you move this transmission so I can take a bath? If the Salvation Army declines your mattress, if birds are attracted to your beard, I don't know. Okay, so we've got that. In our second hour, Ryan Morrow is going to drop by. He's a national security analyst with the Clarion Project, professor of Homeland Security at Liberty University, a conservative, and he's going to tell us why Trump's extreme vetting of immigrants is a good thing. So, maybe the real question we're asking is for Donald Trump's extreme vetting. Trump has said he's going to do extreme vetting for immigrants. So if you really want to find out if somebody is, wants to be an American citizen and knows enough about America to be an American citizen, what should you ask them in Trump world? If you're Donald Trump, what are the questions? And that could get, could fall into all of these categories. What is the Home Shopping Network? What was Beaver Cleaver's mother's name? I mean, it kind of reminds me. I remember seeing movies when I was a kid, and in fact, reading in some novels. I think several John le Carre novels actually about during World War II. There were the Nazis had both sleeper agents here in the United States who were typically people of German ancestry who spoke accent-free English, but also were fluent in German because one or more of their parents were German. But there were also Germans that they smuggled into the United States who had accent-free English, Midwestern English. And, their job was to screw things up. And, I don't think Joe McCarthy was one of them, but, in any case. So, when they interrogated them, they would ask questions like that. They would ask pop culture questions, who are the Bears? Who are the Cubs? Who won the 1958 World Series? Whatever. But what kind of crazy questions would Trump supporters put on, what was there? There's a YouTube floating around of a guy talking about, they did a focus group of Trump supporters with some phony ads. This puppet dog, and one of them was Donald Trump saying, well, we're going to put guns in ladies' bathrooms so they can protect themselves from transgenders. And then all the people in the focus group sitting around going, well, yeah, this is a problem. Maybe that's a good solution. And it just got progressively more and more weird. But it was all taking Trump logic to the logical extent, to the logical endpoint.